Equity Armor Investments joins us for Chart Talk before he takes off for the long holiday weekend. Great to have you here, Dan.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Angie.
So we're checking the charts this morning on the Dow Transports, as many people will want to transport themselves out of here for today. So what do you think about the charts? Because some people are concerned here.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think that's one of the areas that we're watching very closely as we kind of see some of these other major averages pushing up to highs, or in the case of the NASDAQ, to new highs for 2014. The transports have not confirmed this most recent run-up. I mean, they're still below their high that they saw a month and a half ago and look like they're stagnating here and kind of plateauing a little bit. So right now, trading around the 84.05 level. We saw a high in July of 84.68. So right now, that's something that's causing us a little bit of concern as we roll on to Labor Day and into the early part of September, where we're not seeing some confirmation of some of these other averages to really indicate that this rally is as meaningful as it may appear.
What levels are you watching in the S&P 500? The S&P 500, of course, crossed that 2,000 mark to a little bit of fanfare this week.
There was. Of course, it would have been much more fanfare, I think, if it was on more meaningful volume. I mean, I just wouldn't put a lot of stock into this most recent run-up, so to speak. But ultimately, certainly that was a positive from a psychological standpoint. Looking right now, with the weakness yesterday because of what was taking place over in Ukraine, and that had an impact on the market, at least in the morning yesterday, I'm looking at 1965, that 50-day moving average. If we see a little bit more weakness here, if we take out yesterday's lows, I could see us drift back down to that 1965 area before we find some support.
And to be candid, are traders seeing enough volatile days in the market to actually be able to bring in big money, make big profits?
Well, it depends on what side of the market you're playing. I suppose if you're selling volatility, particularly if you sell it on the pops, you're doing just well. You're doing very well this year. But ultimately, you're right, Angie. Right now, we're not seeing a lot of movement here to kind of key off of. Again, like I said, the low volumes, I think, have also basically put a muted expectation on volatility as well. And really kind of like, we see the moves intraday, yet the VIX doesn't necessarily react to it just because I think that it's because of the low volume. Next week, I think we'll probably get a little bit more of a positive reading on where the volatility is going to go. But right now, no, it's very difficult right now with these low volumes and the low VIX to really kind of play for the market movements.
They could all change in September and October. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Angie.